Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to Dragon Ball Nation. Now today I'm giving you guys a discussion on Dragon Ball Super and Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, discussing the Goku Black and Hit voiceovers for the English dub, the Funimation dub obviously for Xenoverse 2, which is really the only English version, but regardless, these are our first experiences of Goku Black and Hit with their Funimation performances. Presumably it's probably going to be the same, if not similar. It could change to what we're going to see when Funimation actually eventually dubs Super, which they did announce they're going to be doing. Very recently they said that. And I did do this as a Q&A discussion a few weeks back, but I thought it'd be better to do it as its own video and mixing it up and bring a guest along with me on this video. So that guest is...
Alrighty guys, it is Qualman here today.
Yeah, and like I said, we're talking about Goku Black and Hit's voice. I've talked about this before, but I think I'd maybe go a little bit more in depth and bounce my thoughts off with Quinn here. So, Quinn, I think the easy one to really get out of the way first, because there's a lot less to talk about, because Hit as a character was introduced in Super and you know, the Universe 6 arc. We get a new voiceover performance in the Japanese, and even in the Funimation version of the game, you know, for English for Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, we have, from, you know, what we saw, Aaron Roberts. Kind of hasn't really done Dragon Ball before, but has done animes. He seems to be a newer-ish voice actor. He did the voice for Hit, and I think for Hit, one thing a lot of people have taken away from it, obviously the line... time to make the donuts, which apparently is like a reference to an old Dunkin' Donuts commercial, but a lot of people have taken away from Hit is that his voice isn't as deep as what they wanted it to sound like, and I can definitely agree there, but I think as a general voice, it's not really that offensive. It's not that big of a deal. It would have been nice to hear it be a bit deeper. There's not a whole lot to really talk about with Hit's voice, I feel like. I don't know what your thoughts are, Quinn, but I did not have a huge problem with Hit's English dub voice. I do prefer the deeper tone in Japanese, but I don't think he should sound like an aggressive being or someone that is evil or malicious in any ways, because Hit is an assassin. He's not someone that has a strict moral code, right? So I think the voice is fine, but I would have liked to hear it a bit deeper. And again, both Goku Black and Hit's voice, because this is the first time they're being shown in English for Funimation. These could very well change in the anime for Super or be tweaked, so we're not really sure. So Aaron Roberts might not even be Hit in the English dub of the show, but I don't really know. But starting off with Hit, Quinn, what do you kind of think? Because that's the easy one to get out of the way. Goku Black's the meat of this video, I feel like.
Well, we haven't actually heard him a lot in the game, but interestingly enough though, Bean, I would have to kind of take your point. I was kind of expecting not just a deeper voice though, like something a lot more sinister. Like, I would have expected him to have a voice kind of similar to like maybe a Nova Shenron in, like, you know, in Dragon Ball GT, like kind of deep and grumpy, but also like sophisticated like Cell. Like, I think I imagined a voice that was grumpy and deep like Nova Shenron's, but like, you know, obviously sophisticated like a perfect Cell. Like, he sounds like a more intelligent, you know, being, and I think that would have kind of been, you know, a lot more fitting for Hit. You know, maybe they should have gotten Black and Fist to voice him.
Yeah, I agree with. I don't think he really should have that sinister line, but I agree with the intelligence part. He kind of just does sound a little bit generic almost in Xenoverse. And the thing is, I don't know if it's because it's a game that it might be phoned in. Xenoverse 1 was kind of notorious for a lot of fans to not having the best voice acting. I didn't think it was that bad, but a lot of fans didn't think it was the best. And it did improve with this one from what people have said. But I feel like maybe they didn't really give it as much care as if they were casting him for the anime. I don't know how it worked in Funimation. I don't know how that casting was done, so I can't speak on it. But, I mean, that's really all we could say about Hit. There's not a lot to say about him because there's not as much depth as there is with Goku Black. And I want to talk about Goku Black here because this one's important. If you watch my Q&A and I discussed it there, you're going to hear a lot of the same things as I do here. And I'm going to go first and then bounce it off of you, Quinn. With Goku Black, I don't hate Schemmel's performance. I really don't. I don't hate Sean Schemmel's performance at all. But I feel as if it is obviously Sean Schemmel's interpretation of what the character should sound like, assuming he's giving it a good amount of care, even though it's just a video game. I'm sure he's probably been thinking about the voice ever since it got revealed in Super, obviously. That's just my opinion. With Goku Black, though, it just sounds like Super Saiyan 4 Goku that became a chain smoker, and I think that's what a lot of people described him as. You know, really gruff and, oh, this body is so powerful. With this body, I can do anything. And I think that that's not a terrible voice, and I'm sure it's very strenuous on the vocal cords, of course. But I think the problem is that, at least in my opinion, it's a little misguided to I think what the character should sound like. The thing is, when Nozawa did it in Japanese, even though she does voice a lot of Goku-esque characters, she voices Gohan, Goten, Turles, Bardock, Goku. She has a big, cast on her, on her shoulders. She still made Goku Black sound very distinct, but not too different from Goku. It was a very sinister portrayal of Goku, but it was like a Goku Black. It was like a negative version of Goku. Someone that sounds like Goku, feels like Goku, but is more sinister, more malicious, and is still calm. Very strict agenda, knows what they're doing, has a very deliberate plan. But is very calm, cool, and collective. Does not get a hot head, and keeps things under wraps, but still sounds and feels like Goku. The thing about Shemel's performance is that I feel like he just tried to make it sound like an evil being. And that is what Goku Black is. He's very evil, obviously. But I feel like Shemel just kind of made it too different, if that makes sense. That's just my opinion. It was more of an extension on Super Saiyan 4 Goku's voice, how Shemel makes his voice a lot more less controlled sounding with each transformation he does. And I feel like here he just kind of made it sound like the least control Goku's ever had. And I could see that being his approach from how he portrays Goku in general. How, again, as he transforms, he loses more control in his voice. And that kind of can go ahead in the same way. But I just feel like after hearing Nozawa as Goku Black, I feel like her interpretation on what that should have sounded like was better. And I feel like I would have preferred to see Shemel take that approach. But again, it's his interpretation of the character. And the more I've heard it, the more I enjoy it. But I still, at this point, prefer Nozawa's interpretation. But as the voice of Goku in general, I've always enjoyed Shemel's performance more. That's just because I grew up with it, I guess, and I'm just a nostalgia freak. But whatever. But Quinn, what are your thoughts? I know I said a lot.
I'd probably have to say that this voice actor, for obviously Aaron Roberts, we said before, he's clearly like a guy who's kind of new to playing this character.
He's definitely new, yeah.
For Shemel, like a guy who's been, a lot more experienced, I would have to say that it does seem kind of generic that he's kind of doing the exact same voice pretty much as like the Super Saiyan 2, 3, and 4. But you know what? At the same time, though, Josh, I kind of thought about it. It's like, what other method could Shemel really use? Because I feel like Nozawa, she kind of, like you said, she kind of fits like that really calm, cool, collected thing. Like, for example, when she used the black Kamehameha that, knocked out, Goku and Trunks while, Zamasu was holding him. Like, the way she said that, the way she said that, it felt, even though she's just saying Kamehameha, she had like a very dark feel to it, and I feel like Shemel has it. And as obviously Shemel's a male, he obviously has a deeper voice.
Right.
I just feel like he needs to kind of fit more of the sinister feel as opposed to more of the.
It seems to me more of making it a more brutishly evil sounding character, more than a subtle change.
Yeah.
That's what I think, and I don't know if you agree, and if everyone else watching agrees. It is, in the end, down to personal preference, and I can absolutely see why someone would like the Shemel performance more, but I just think that the Goku Black as being, like, a quote-unquote evil Goku-esque type being, that voice really made that character special to me. I think that voice was so foreboding, and was a really good job on Nozawa's part. I repeat myself many times, but it's how it sticks in people's heads. I think that Shemel just missed the mark on that, and I don't know if you agree, Quinn, but that's the bottom line. That's my opinion on it.
Yeah, man, I'd pretty much have to agree. I do think that both actors, I don't think me and Josh are saying either actor's doing a bad job.
Absolutely not. Shemel and Nozawa are both so talented. just, you know, this one performance maybe could have been handled a little bit better.
Yeah, and Aaron Roberts did a good job voice acting. It's just more of a taste of, you know, does his pitch kind of fit, you know, what people's interpretation of Hit are. Because let's just be honest, in Dragon Ball, as we've seen with Vegeta and Piccolo and a lot of these characters, there's been like a tendency to kind of make the former, like, evil characters or like formerly evil characters to either have one of two things. They either have a very sophisticated voice like Cell, they have a very grumpy voice like Vegeta and Piccolo, or they kind of have like a silly, stupid voice like Nappa and Raccoon. And, you know, and I kind of feel like that's kind of like the feel that we've always had for like the male characters. So it kind of has to fall into these characters for both Hit and Goku Black.
I mean, back to, you know, it could just be the thing where maybe it's a game, they didn't put as much attention to it, but I don't really know. I mean, I think we said a lot here. I think we probably put this actually out to be a lot longer than I expected to talk about it. Quinn, do you want to give any final thoughts on this before we leave it out to the people watching this video to comment their thoughts?
Yeah, overall, I think that, you know, obviously Aaron Roberts and Sean Shelby are going to have a lot more time, you know, before Super comes out. And I think that they're going to have a lot more of a sense of the characters. Because you remember, this Trunks arc is still going on, so they could obviously watch more, see more performances. And I think they could definitely probably perfect the voices. Because I actually wouldn't be surprised if, you know, Aaron Roberts is replaced or Aaron Roberts completely, you know, improves his style for, you know, obviously the Universe 6 arc by the time, you know, the saga rolls around.
Yeah, I mean, and Shemo could change the way he speaks, or he could leave it, and we'll just, you know, have to either start to enjoy or deal with it, depending on how our opinions are. But that's about it for the video, guys. We don't need to linger any longer. Leave your thoughts down below on this topic. I know I've discussed it in a Q&A before, like I said, but I felt it was good to bring it into its own separate video and bring Kwame on here to give his thoughts, because you guys probably haven't heard him really talk about this too in depth before. So I thought it was a cool video, and hope you guys enjoyed the video. Share your thoughts down below, and of course, Quinn, take us out of the video.
Please remember, please remember,
please do it,
to rate, comment, and subscribe. And remember, as I always say, and I'm even saying it on Josh's channel, or Bean's channel if you want to use the more accurate terms.
Don't use Bean.
To have a great day, guys. Well, I think that obviously we've only heard him for like a limited period of time.
He doesn't have a lot of lines in the game at all.
Yeah, I mean, but there is one interesting thing though.
Come on, bro, I'm not gonna edit that shit.
Hold on, let me just continue.